in Phoenix, Arizona at the top of World Classic. We started with 4 distinctly different forms of motor racing. We're now down to just one. And they are the NASCAR stock cars and the Featherlight Grease Lightning 50. These are Southwestern Tour cars. And pretty interesting down on the pole, Bobby Gerald. A little bit of a surprise.
Number 52 is the car, and Mike Grady is his name. A heretofore unheralded driver from New Mexico who's a hay baler by trade and a former sprint car driver. As a matter of fact, the 1995 Aztec Speedway champion. He ran the lap of his life yesterday. He's on the pole, and he is ready to pace the field. Now, Grady admits that being first to the checkered in this 50-lapper is a long shot, but he has a growing following of fans that will be ready to cheer him on today as the underdog. Alongside on the front row will be Steve Fortengay, the 94 Featherlight Southwest Tour champion, who hopes to lead early and try to win his first Copper Trophy. But everybody knows that the man to beat in this field starts a little further back in spot number 10.
Bobby, and that would be the number 6 Remax machine belonging to Rick Corelli, who's starting 10th here today. He's never been a good timer, but he has won here 4 times and finished second 5 times, so he'll definitely be coming.
And we'll also keep an eye on the number 20 car, Jim Inglebright from Fairfield, California, qualified well, start 6. And if that car is as good as the jelly beans that sponsor it, he's a shoo-in.
40 cars, 50 laps as they push off. We would also want to remind you that we are also carrying onboard cameras inside a couple other cars. One of those cars being the 03 machine, Ken Alexander, who starts 29th. He will be back in row number 15. Also, the 01 car, Steve Petty, who starts 35th back in row 18 in the Farb machine.
Had a chance to knock around in the garage area yesterday, and I discovered that some of these Southwest Tour cars are sporting a little bit different look, and one that I particularly like.
This kind of an offset-bodied stock car has pretty much been standard issue in the Featherlight Southwest Tour and other NASCAR tours around the country. And it's very efficient, slab-sided on the left-hand side because they've offset all the weight over to the right-hand side, which has the big fender well. Helps it go around an oval track just a little bit better. But NASCAR is saying, guys, these aren't the most attractive race cars we've got. They look more like Saturday night bombers than professional race cars. So for the first time, 9 drivers have shown up with what they call straight-up cars. Pretty much exactly the same silhouette on the left as it is on the right. And on the big Phoenix track, they may even enjoy an aerodynamic advantage. On the short tracks, a bit of a disadvantage. But I would tell you, just for appearance purposes, in 1 year, that slab-sided offset car will be a dinosaur.
We've already shown you the front row, and back in row number 2 in the Chris Trickle Star Nursery entry will be the 70 machine of Kurt Busch. NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series regular Kevin Harvick will start to his outside.
And there's Inglebright in row number 3. Row number 4 is Lewis and Lusk. We check back into row number 5. There's the 25 car of John Dillon and Rick Corelli. That's a car a lot of people will be watching. The number 6 machine. Can he win it from back there? He's done it before. Scott
Busby, a racing veteran, will start outside of row number 7. Back in row number 9, that's where we find Bobby Line and Bruce Bechtel. In row 11, Dennis Dyer, Scott Lynch. In row 12, Greg Pursley and M.K. Kankey, who had a bad qualifying lap. Hoped to sit on the pole, but he'll have to use all 13 years of his Southwest Tour experience to get to the front here today.
At the top of the show, I described this pack of cars as being rather aggressive, and that has been their history over the years. Quite a few crashes, but maybe we're not going to see that today. We have a very, very tightly compacted field. And what about the rookie sitting on the pole? Well, we asked him what he had to do to win in his first outing here in the Big Mile in Phoenix.
Like I say, I'm just going to run. That's all I know how to do. I'm an old sprint car driver, and that's what I got to do. I'll be on the gas hard and trying to make it to turn 1 first.
Well, this is turn 1, but he wasn't on the gas, I don't think, quite hard enough, as he's already slid back to 3rd. Down on the inside is the pole sitter, Mike Grady.
Steve Fortengay is out in the lead from the number 2 spot. Jim Inglebright already up to 5th in the Jelly Belly cars. We go on board.
You know, Steve Fortengay, even though he's been a past Southwestern Tour champion, has never fared well here at Phoenix. Like a lot of other drivers, he stars on short tracks and kind of falls apart on the mile. Today, after driver introductions, I've never seen him ooze with confidence like he was. Just happy. He feels good about today. Well, he should.
Mike Grady, the pole sitter, continuing to slide back. He is now in 6th. Jim Inglebright has put his 20 car up past the pole sitters. We've got trouble.
Whoa.
Car on the wall.
We got one on the wall, and that is 81 Scott Lynch. Started back in 22nd place in row 11. Let's have another look and see just exactly what happened to him. I think he got maybe a little bump, a little help turning this car around. Puts the spoiler into the fence. Not a lot of damage, but probably out of this race for the rest of the day. It's only 50 laps. You know, you don't want to make a pit stop here. You can't. Steve Portengay continues to lead, and we'll be back for the Copper World Classic finale.
Arthur, don't you just love camping in Myrtle Beach?
Yes, dear.
Arthur, did you video the kids playing that wacky golf?
Yes, dear.
And us at the music theater?
Why, yes, dear.
And at the Hard Rock Cafe, Planet Hollywood, and the NASCAR Cafe?
Yes, dear.
Arthur, want to get me in my new bikini?
No, dear.
Myrtle Beach, South Carolina camping. 7 campgrounds, 7,000 sites, and plenty of things to see. For a free brochure, call 1-800-356-3016.
Are you sure?
Yes, dear.
Give it up. Your Colonel's got the moves this NCAA season. Some fun for the fans, too, because my popcorn chicken's back at KFC. Crunchy morsels of tender white meat, non-stopping, mouth-popping good. Ooh, nothing but net. Try my popcorn chicken for $1.99. Alley-oop. Go, Colonel. Go, Colonel. At KFC, we do chicken right. And not just in a bucket, neither. The Colonel, he the man.
This week on Trucks, Stace and I take you step by step through the installation of an air suspension kit on a Ford F-150. After that, we'll turn up the heat and show you some basic tips that'll help you lay down a perfect weld. Then we'll pull up a seat and rebuild a classic carburetor, the Stromberg 97. Trucks today at 4:30 Eastern and Pacific on TNN Motorsports.
To fight in this arena, to enter this ring, to step into boxing history, you must be ready to fight for the most coveted title in sports. Heavyweight King of the World. WBA IBF King Evander Holyfield. WBC King Lennox Lewis.
Presenting Slammin' Wrestling hits from Beast Records. You get 'em all. The NWO theme, the Stone Cold Steve Austin theme, the Bill Goldberg theme, the Undertaker theme, the Al Snow theme. These are the anthems wrestling fans want. Slammin' Wrestling hits, 15 electrifying themes from the biggest names in wrestling. Get your copy of Slammin' Wrestling hits today.
We're back, just about ready to restart the Featherlight Grease Lightning 50. NASCAR Southwest Tour cars, 9.5 to 1 V8 motors, small carburetors, and rock-hard tires make for very close racing.
Steve Portengay leads him into the first turn. Following him, though, in the 75 machine is Kevin Harvick, who's battling him for first. He took a win back in 1998 on the Featherlight Southwest Tour, but on NASCAR's Winston West Series, he picked up 4 wins. And with 37 times going around in a NASCAR Craftsman truck, this guy definitely has got plenty of experience.
In fact, they're very well matched, not only equipment, but also the experience, as you point out. And our hay baler, an Aztec Speedway champion, he continues to slide to the back. But look at this. Here is Engelbright currently in the 4th car in the Jelly Belly machine.
He goes to the inside of the 70 machine. Kurt Busch, Jim Engelbright now running 3rd. There you see him complete the pass of the 70 car as Rick Corelli is making his way through the pack. Now passing the 52 of Mike Grady, the pole sitter, drops back further as Corelli now 6th.
Rick Corelli has really made a nice career out of running the Southwestern Tour and similar tours as opposed to moving up to Busch or to Winston Cup. He seems happy here. He makes a good living and a very confident race car driver.
Back in the pack, the battle for 25th. That's where we find the 03 car of Ken Alexander as we go on board with Steve Petty, who started 35th. He is making his way up, already improving his finish so far by 10 positions.
And let's remember, this is only a 50-lap affair. Steve Portengay doesn't have to be told that, as right now he continues to click off lap after lap after lap in the lead.
Rick Corelli now chasing the 70 machine of Kurt Busch. That's a battle for 4th on the racetrack, as Portengay, with 6 wins in 1998, was the winningest Southwest Tour. He'd love to pick up one here today. What's that going to take?
I think the biggest thing is when we get cautions, when we get people bunched back up, and we're starting a new thing today. We're going to put lap cars on the inside, and that's something new for the Tour. And I'm just going to put the Prolong Chevrolet up front.
Top 3 cars, the 14 of Steve Portengay. Following him in the 75 is Kevin Harvick. And behind him, the 20 car, Jim Englebright. You're on board with the Jelly Belly car.
We are indeed, as he trails the 75 car. And now watch, you can see his hands on the steering wheel, how hard you have to drive one of these cars. As I mentioned before, the tires are hard. They do a lot of sliding. Woo, baby. They are loose.
Loose as a goose as they make their way down the backstretch and into turns 3 and 4. As Rick Corelli now has made his way past the 70 car of Kurt Busch. He's running in 4th place. Behind them, though, the battle is for 5th now as Busch tries to hold off the 25 machine of John Dillon. Dillon, you see there in the red car, started 9th and is making his way forward. Busch trying to hold on, though.
Let's move back in the pack just a little bit. We're on board the Grease Lightning car with Ken Alexander. He's one of those visiting drivers we talked about out of Clemson, South Carolina. Doesn't usually run with this bunch. A little light on experience, but holding his own.
You can see how tough that sun is to drive into as they make their way up the front stretch. Good battles all over the racetrack. 7th through 9th. That's where we find the 17 car of Darrell Lamore, the 99 of Greg Pursley, and the 42 of Rick Allison.
And how about Greg Pursley? Realize that he started in 23rd and is now right there taking 7th position. Incredible drive. Newhall, California, his hometown.
16 positions Greg Pursley has already made up in that 99 car, and with a clear racetrack ahead, he's bound to pick off a few more. Currently running in 7th. Great drive. If it finished right now, this would be Pursley's career best finish at PIR. Before that, 1997, where he finished 14th. This is only his 3rd race, so a great job of driving. Battle for 8th now between the 2 cars that he has just left. The 42 machine is Rick Allison. The 17 machine is Darrell Lamore.
And this is also the best ever effort for that man in the 14 car, Steve Portengay, who has never finished in the top 5 here at PIR, hanging on to the lead over Kevin Harvick, Jim Englebright. Rick Corelli has now moved up to 4th, and John Dillon into 5th after he passed Busch in the 70 car. Stay with us. We'll be back with the second half of the Grease Lightning 50 from Phoenix International Raceway and the Copper World Classic.
Craftsman has come up with another smart solution that simplifies projects and saves you time. The Craftsman Speedlock Drill and Driver System, exclusively from Sears. This patented Speedlock Quick Connector is the heart of the system. It fits any drill and works with keyed or keyless chucks. The Speedlock's simple click-in, click-out action makes changing bits so easy you can do it with one hand without re-chucking. With the collar snapped back, the bit is securely locked, and you're ready to drill with any of the 7 hex shank drill bits that are included with the system. The Craftsman Speedlock system also includes this magnetic screw guide. It makes driving screws easier, faster, and safer. And you'll really love the screw guide sleeve. It acts as a stabilizer and guide, so you don't have to use your fingers to hold screws while you drive them, and they go in straight every time. The screw guide comes with 7 different screwdriver bits, so you can work with Phillips, slotted, or square head screws. At just $19.99, the Craftsman Speedlock system is essential for anyone who owns a drill. Choosing the right tool can make any job go more smoothly. And with the Craftsman Speedlock system, drilling and driving is faster, safer, and easier. Whether you're working around the house, remodeling, or building crafts, Speedlock saves time and energy. The exclusive innovative design turns any drill into an efficient tool you can count on for high-quality performance every time. The Craftsman Speedlock system makes work easier, and with its revolutionary quick change design, it's the fast, convenient way to tackle all types of drilling and driving projects. It's just one more example of how Craftsman makes anything possible. And because it's from Sears, your satisfaction is guaranteed or your money back.
Call now to order your 16-piece Speedlock system for only $19.99 plus shipping and handling. You'll receive the quick connector, screw guide, 7 Speedlock drill bits, 7 screwdriver bits, and a convenient storage case. Use your Sears card or other credit card and call 1-800-644-8855. That's 1-800-644-8855. Call right now.
Well, the cast of characters up front hasn't changed here at Phoenix International Raceway in the Featherlight Grease Lightning 50. Steve Portengay continues to lead as he has from the very first lap, starting outside the front row. And he's still followed by Kevin Harvick and Jim Englebright and Rick Corelli, all waiting for him to make a mistake that he's not making, Dave Reef.
Steve, but so far the Sparks Nevada driver in the car 14 has been flawless over the first half of the race. Back in the pack, that's where we find the battle for 20th between the 74 of Scott Busby and the 87 of M.K. Kahnke.
You know, last year, M.K. Kahnke finished 5th, but this year he had a lousy qualifying effort and had to start in row number 12. But as Dave Reef found out earlier, if anyone can come from the back of the pack, it could be M.K. Mike Kahnke in his wide world of maps Pontiac.
That's because the Granada Hills, California driver led the most laps, won the most races a year ago. Mike, you were fast in practice, but qualifying, not so fast.
Yeah, well, you know, we thought we could put this thing on the pole. Had a great 1 and 2 corner and put it in 3. Thought I put it in a little too hard, and it actually stuck. So we had a lot of high speed coming off of 4, and it just broke loose. So we ended up in the back a little ways.
You were the fastest throughout practice, so you know this car can come to the front, right?
Oh, yeah, we really have a nice car here. Just all I got to do is do my job and get a little luck.
Corelli or whoever, you think you can come to the top?
Corelli's tough. I'll tell you what, this whole field's tough, but I think we can do it.
Just a moment ago, Kenke was in 20th, now scored 17th as he's getting ready to pass the 52 car. Mike Grady, remember, that's the pole sitter, so he is not having a good day, but Kenke now 16th.
Well, here's a car with some problems. This is the 42 machine of Rick Allison. As we said, this is the 50-lap race. There's no time for problems if you want to win or even finish high in the final standings. You can't afford that. Kills you.
Battle for 10th between the 0 car of Eddie Hoffman and Darrell Lamore. Lamore trying to get an advantage, but doesn't look like he's found one quite yet. The 0 car holds on to that number 10 spot.
And, you know, I got to agree with Mike Kenke. Woohoo, are they loose. This is by far the tightest, best quality field we have ever seen here as the Featherlight cars come to Phoenix. And we've been doing this about 10 years here on TNN. Just great racing, and so far very professional racing.
There you see Mike Grady continuing to slide back as we've got caution on the racetrack.
That's right, and the leaders will acknowledge that caution after they have crossed the start-finish line right there. The caution is out because NASCAR wants to check this track for oil, possibly from that 42 car that we saw heading to the pits. So we're going to take a quick break with Steve Portengay out in front as he has been from the very first lap, followed by Kevin Harvick, Jim Englebright, Rick Corelli, and John Dillon. Stay with us here on TNN's Race of the Week as we wrap up our coverage of the Copper World Classic.
Tests have shown that some brake pads can take more than 20 feet longer to stop a car.
An independent lab developed D3EA, the only lab test which determines if brake pads are consistent with federal safety standards. Raybestos professional grade brakes are D3EA certified.
What was 20 feet from you after your last sudden stop? So demand Raybestos and look for this seal.
Raybestos, the best in brakes.
If your home could use a little TLC, come to Ace for the I Love My Home sale. There's lots to love, including the prices. Ace is the place for the helpful hardware folks.
I've seen every card there is. Thousands of cards. Super 8's VIP card. It says congratulations. Your reservation is guaranteed, and you get 10% off. Life's great at Super 8.
We're back at Phoenix International Raceway, the Copper World Classic, the Greased Lightning 50 for Featherlight Southwest Tour machines, NASCAR stock cars. And the green is about to come out as we restart on lap 31 with 20 out of 50 still to go here.
And just like the big brothers, you see the 3 cars on the inside. Those represent lapped machines. The cars on the lead lap are to the outside as Portengay is out and away.
Yep, he picks up right where he left off. Steve Portengay started outside of the front row and has led every lap so far on board with the 01 car. That's Petty currently 25th in the Farb machine.
The Farb machine, a hangover relief cure. Haven't had a chance to try that yet. I will be sure to update you as soon as I can. Back up front, Portengay leads, but 2nd through 4th, they are starting to get bunched up back there.
Yeah, they're running out of laps and starting to get just a little bit desperate. I don't think Rick Corelli has come up through the field as fast as he thought he could in that Remax car, the number 6 machine right there. On Englebright's bumper, the yellow Jelly Bellies car.
We talked about aggressive driving. We've seen some of that throughout today's 50-lap race. But one thing Rick Corelli's quick to point out, you can't be too aggressive because this is a high-speed racetrack for the Featherlight Southwest Tours. And once you start rubbing fenders, that's when things start turning and flipping and spinning and you get all out of shape.
Mr. Englebright, Fairfield, California, is currently 3rd, sawing on that wheel, trying to keep that hard rubber underneath him. These are spec tires. Everybody runs the same tire, and they'll last quite a while. Off that throttle. Squeezing back into it as he comes out of the turn. There's Mike Grady, our pole sitter, the 52 car, trying to make it back up front where he started. He kind of fell back, just being cautious and being smart. First time here and on the pole. A lot of pressure. He's 12.
There's some of that aggressive driving we're talking about. The Favre machine of Petty gets into the back of the 12 of Bruce Yockey. That sends the Favre machine for a spin to the infield grass, but he keeps it under control and pulls it back out onto the racetrack. Great job of driving by Steve Petty.
Yep, very nice. Well, I'll tell you, they have got to start making some moves. Engelbright now starting to get a little aggressive, looking underneath.
In 11 starts here at PIR, he's finished third 2 times and now moves into the second spot. Engelbright with a nice move on the bottom, and then slides up to block the advance of the 75 machine. Harvick slips back to third as Portengay has got a pretty sizable lead.
And we're just about 10 laps from the finish here, but Engelbright has now positioned himself beautifully. If anything happens with Portengay, and right now it doesn't look like that's likely the way this young man is driving, just as smooth and steady as he ever has here on this big oval.
This is the race for 8th. Darren Shawn, the 02 car. Sean Zaretsky in the 98 machine, and Eddie Hoffman nose to tails, 8th, 9th, and 10th.
And we're on board with Ken Alexander. Remember, he had to pit during the caution. He's down about 3 laps in the 03 car, and is getting passed by 78 Jerry Robertson as well.
Robertson slip by on the inside as Portengay continues to lead. He has led the entire race. We'll be back to check out the finish in just a moment.
Make plans now to visit Missouri's #1 attraction, Bass Pro Shops Outdoor World, for the 1999 Spring Fishing Classic, March 11th through the 14th, featuring top fishing pros, celebrities, exhibits, seminars, and special programs for kids. While you're here, visit Fantastic Caverns, America's ride-through cave. It's all happening in Ozark Mountain Country's big city, Springfield, Missouri, just 30 minutes from Branson. Call now for your free Springfield travel kit.
Introducing the redesigned Suzuki King Quad with a tough new look. A 3-speed sub-transmission with super low range and locking front differential, shaft front drive, and integrated rear drive. Fully independent front and rear suspension with oil damage.
Hey! Fishing here. A little quiet. Do you mind?
The 1999 King Quad, just one of the redesigned Quadrunner ATVs from Suzuki.
During Quadrunner family values, get 0 down, 9.9% financing on the whole family of Suzuki ATVs.
This week on NASCAR Garage, we'll go behind the scenes and under the hood for a visit with the pros from Racing Radios, plus a lesson in chassis adjustments from Gary Nelson, a look at the Featherlight Modified Series, Winston Cup fuel management, and much more. It's an insider's look at the people, the machines, and the tracks that make NASCAR racing the greatest sport in America.
NASCAR Garage, this weekend on the leader for motorsports coverage, TNN Motorsports.
We're back at Phoenix International Raceway, the closing laps of the stock car portion of the Copper World Classic. Rick Corelli is making his move. The 6 car now trying to take 3rd spot away from 75 Kevin Harvick. That's the story right now. Steve Portengay continues to master the field up front.
Look right behind them, though, in the 99 car. Greg Pursley has come from 23rd. He is now in 5th and looks to be challenging for 4th.
Maybe the drive of the race really belongs to that young man. He has just done an incredible job. Rick Corelli is 3rd. He's running out of laps, though. He's running out of real estate, too, as Portengay continues to lead up front.
You're on board with Steve Petty, who was tapped and spun earlier in the Favre car. You see Portengay go by on the inside.
Steve Portengay now has lapped, well, not the whole field, but a good percentage of it. Jim Engelbright is one he hasn't lapped, that's for sure, as he tenaciously hangs on to 2nd place. You can see right there about 5-car length lead for Portengay.
In the Petty car, the Favre machine, that now represents lap traffic. Not exactly the day Steve Petty wanted to have. And probably not the guy Rick Corelli wants to have right in front of him as the laps begin to wind down. Especially when Greg Pursley is right on your tail. The Favre machine plays blocker. The 99 gets around. Corelli falls back to 4th. Harvick now 5th.
If Greg Pursley had had a better qualifying effort, this race might have had a completely different complexion. Corelli currently 4th, Kevin Harvick 5th. But amazingly, in the drive of the race, it is Pursley in 3rd spot. Unbelievable.
Well, earlier, Steve, we heard Portengay talk about how difficult lap traffic would be. They are encouraged to stay to the inside, and that's just what Steve Petty did. Go down to the bottom to block Rick Corelli. That's what allowed Greg Pursley to get around him and into 3rd, looking at a top 3 finish.
Oh, we got trouble. It's our leader, Portengay. The 14 car hard into the wall, sliding down the racetrack, smoke off the tires. What a disaster for Steve Portengay, who had led this race from lap 1, only had a couple of more to go, and disaster has struck. Let's take a look from the onboard camera of Jim Englebright, the 20 car, who was right behind Portengay. Whoa, a car spun in front of Steve. He tried to take avoidance and got himself into the fence. It was the 03 car that spun right in front of him.
Portengay trying to maneuver around him. Looked like he was trying to dive to the bottom, but then at the last minute decided to go back up to the top. The car got out of shape, got contact, spun it around, smacked the wall. And this is what it looked like on board from the car. He hit the 03 machine.
That's Alexander from Clemson, South Carolina. Possibly got into some oil.
Regardless, the back end broke free. Watch him one more time. That's the 03 car. Alexander in a plume of smoke. Portengay with nowhere to go. Tries the outside line and then hits the wall. A devastating way to end his day. Wasn't much more than about a lap to go, was there, Steve?
No, he was less than a minute away from winning his first ever race at PIR. Now he's got a junk race car. But most importantly, of course, is the condition of the driver. And he is okay, but he is hot.
Visibly upset, you might say, after leading the first 48 laps. 49 are now in the books, and that means we have a new leader. That is the number 20 car of Jim Englebright up front. A lot of other cars wanting a top 5 finish. Pursley, Corelli, Harvick, Dillon. The stage is set for a one-lap dash.
Is your car still running bad? Well, don't get mad. Get Motor Up, the no oil change engine treatment for a smoother, quieter, and cooler running car. Over 3 million people have already added Motor Up to their automobiles, and now you can too with our special 30-day free trial offer. Just call the number on your screen and tell the operator that you want to try Motor Up before you buy it. This is a unique opportunity for anyone who's never tried Motor Up to try it now risk-free. It's so easy. Just add 1 bottle to your car's engine, and you'll see, feel, and hear a difference almost immediately.
See, the whole car doesn't shake. It usually shakes really hard.
I mean, just physically looking at the motor, it had a little shake to it, and then it smoothed right out. Almost instant. It's definitely a difference.
Add just 1 bottle of Motor Up and your car will run smoother.
You could visibly see this part just shaking all over the place. After I added the Motor Up, this doesn't shake at all. Look at it, and it sounds great.
Well, I just added Motor Up, and the car is definitely running quieter and smoother, too. It's definitely running smoother.
Just 1 bottle, and your car will run quieter and cooler.
Runs a little bit quieter now, and it started a little bit easier, a little faster on the start.
The RPMs declined, and the machine got quieter, and it seems to have more pickup when we hit the accelerator.
Without a doubt, it's definitely running cooler. I'm looking at the temperature gauge. It's lower and lower. I'm definitely impressed. I'll tell you that.
No hesitation. It started right up. It drives like a brand new car.
Use Motor Up and you'll get the same amazing results. And because you don't have to change your oil to add Motor Up, you'll save time and money. Before you spend more on costly repairs, call this number now. Put Motor Up to the test and see for yourself. This incredible 30-day free trial offer won't last long, so call now.
Promotional consideration provided for and a fee paid by this special offer from Diamond D.
One phone call can turn your computer into a 6,000 horsepower nitro machine. 1-800-428-6993 gets you NHRA Drag Racing CD-ROM simulation game. Tune, test, and take on the NHRA champs at every national event track.
Another event like that, and your sponsors are going to want the key to your hot rod.
Commentary from NHRA pros, instant replays, and awesome 3D sound. Order by calling 1-800-428-6993 or send $34.99 plus shipping and handling. Check or money order to the address on your screen.
We are back for the final time at PIR. Just 1 lap of racing remains here in the stock car portion of the Copper World Classic. It was the 03 car of Ken Alexander who spun. You see him headed for the pits. He took out the man who had led every lap, Steve Portengay. His car is totally trash, and Dave Reef is with him.
Well, Steve Portengay has just come out of the infield care center here at PIR. Obviously, the body's going to be okay, but that was a very damaging blow. You were very awesome.
Yeah, you know, this is a good race for the Prolong Chevrolet. I'm working on that sponsor for the entire season, and this was a 1-race deal, and you know, that was our race to win. And fortunately, the guy, I didn't know which way he was going to go. He kind of A word of advice, I think when you spin out, you got to put your foot on the brake. It's a lot easier to miss someone that's sitting still in there when they're a moving target. And it's just a shame, the whole team worked hard, and we had an awesome car. And just like I said, I'd like to thank my whole team. Dana Stahl, we got cheated out of a pole this weekend. We got definitely cheated out of a win.
Well, in many ways, he handled that a lot better than a lot of drivers might have. Steve Portengay. His day will come here at Phoenix. Right now, has it come for Jim Engelbright? One lap, folks. One lap around the fastest mile in the world. The yellow car. Can it pull it off?
The 99 car, Greg Pursley. Remember him, who started 23rd? He is now running second. Corelli has moved up into the third spot. Pursley can taste victory, but
this is the front straightaway. An accident here has virtually blocked the racetrack. The leaders coming out of 4 have no idea this is here. The checker will come out along with the yellow flag. They have no clue. This has the elements of disaster.
Engelbright will take the win. Pursley will come home second. Corelli third, but back behind them. Hold on tight. Look out.
Oh. You can see this one coming a mile away. The leaders had a clear view of the stalled cars, drove around them, one high, one low. The cars coming behind them. Let's go on board.
That's Steve Petty, the Farb machine, and great onboard shot. Again, not exactly the kinds of things he wants to be showing everybody, as the 78 car gets bent out of shape, that belonging to Jerry Robertson out of Denver, Colorado.
Could the red have come out and prevented this? We'll never know.
We definitely never will. But Jerry Robertson, tell you what, that young man had a long time to sit in that race car and watch as many as 35 screaming Featherlight Southwest Tour cars bearing down on him.
Boy, they just made hamburger out of those 2 cars. Unbelievable. Fortunately, and the only good side to this is everybody is okay physically. And there is Jim Engelbright, his 5th career win, his first ever here at the Copper Wheel Classic in Phoenix. He was a good motocross racer, but he quit for stock cars after 7 knee operations. It took 7, Jim? Well, down there to talk to him is Bobby Jarrell. What a great afternoon this has been for Engelbright.
For about 49 laps, that one was kind of like a Sunday drive, and then all of a sudden, that thing got wild at the end.
You know, I tell you what, right there at the end, that I don't know what happened. Somebody got turned around coming off a 2 there, and poor old Steve just was a victim of circumstance. You know, we were running up on him there a little bit, you know, and kind of got a little trouble there coming off a 4 with a couple lap cars, and he got away from me, and I thought it was all over. I didn't think we were going to have anything for him, and I mean, I really feel bad for Steve, but I won the Copper.
And it has been a long time. The last win for Jim Engelbright way back in March of '97 at Altamont. And you've been trying here for a long time. Your first win at PIR in 12 starts.
You know, we've had a lot of top 5s, probably 3 or 4 top 5s here at Phoenix, and just hadn't been able to put it together, you know. And you know, I got to give my crew chief, Chuck Crothers. We've been together for about 4 or 5 years, and I just think that man is like the whiz. He is it, you know. And Port City Racing, this chassis is pretty awesome, and I'd like to thank Jelly Bellies and Wonder Bar and Gold's Gym for all the support and help they've given me.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Well, I guess you eat the Jelly Bellies and then work it off at Gold's Gym, huh? Well, here is what Engelbright saw on this last lap. Whoa. With the sun in his eyes, he still was able to avoid all that carnage on the front straightaway.
And how about Greg Pursley, who came from 23rd to 2nd? But check out these numbers. The 2 hardest chargers, Ron Eaton, who took a provisional to start this race. He began 38th, finished 7th. John Soretsky came out of the last chance qualifier, started 34th and finished 9th. Great job by those 2.
And how about Steve Portengay? If life were fair, he would be cashing the winner's check. As it is, he'll get a mere pittance for finishing 30th, having led 49 out of 50 laps.
29 of the 40 cars finished this race, only one of them off of the lead lap. A great job done by them, as Bobby Jarrell is down with our 2nd place finisher.
Well, Greg Pursley has a little grin on his face right now, because 23rd to 2nd is a good Sunday's work. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm really happy. We had a little problems qualifying. We struggled a little bit, and crew worked on the car, and they got it just right. It was awesome today.
I've got to ask you about the yellow checkered situation and how wild it was for you driving down into turn 1 after you saw that.
It was pretty wild. Yellow kind of hurt us, but when we went there, that one lap for the checker flag, there was a car right in the middle of the track, and it was either go one way or the other. So he went high, I went low, and it made a good race out of it.
Well, next winter, if you're looking to make a road trip, put the Copper World Classic on your dance card. Bizarre finishes, great racing, typifies all 4 of the venues here in this one weekend. For all of us here at TNN, for Bobby Gerald and Dave Reef, I'm Steve Evans. Thanks for joining us.